All right, on today's edition of Fend for Yourselves, I got to be honest with you. I know that probably most of the people watching this, you're not going to know what it is that I'm cooking. And I will also tell you that my wife does not like the dish that I'm cooking. It's just something that she's never liked growing up and even as an adult, even when I'm cooking it. It's called Sausage Sauce Piquant. Now, I know piquant is probably going to scare you away if you don't know anything about Louisiana cooking or Louisiana Acadian French language. But it is a delicious, delicious meal. And it's perfect for a rainy, cold day that'll be coming up soon now that summer's over. So don't be scared of it. You're going to learn something new today, unless you are from Louisiana and you're watching this, and then you're going to nitpick everything I do, because I've heard from y'all too. I just can't win. But the class begins now. Let's go. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to explain a little bit of kind of Louisiana cooking stuff to you. This is a sausage sauce piquant, as I've mentioned. But you can also do an alligator sauce piquant or a chicken sauce piquant. But today we're doing sausage, so I got a pound of andouille, just like the andouille that we used for, I don't remember what that was for.
The chili,
oh yeah, it was for the andouille dogs with bacon. Yeah. So I got a hot skillet non-stick on medium-high heat, and I'm just going to brown this sausage and render it down to get some of the grease out of it. The first step in our sausage sauce piquant. My wife calls it piquant, almost like pecan, like the nut with a T on it. But again, she doesn't like the dish anyway, so it doesn't matter what she says. Who cares? So I was just playing around, and Mr. Todd got all impressed with something that I can do. So I'm going to do that thing that people do when they throw something up in the air on the skillet and then catch it again. All right? Yeah, you see, so that way it makes people think you know what you're doing when you really don't, because it looks all fancy. And if you do this, it makes it look like you're in a restaurant in the kitchen and you whop. Oh, I lost a piece. Okay, so now it's brown. It's brown, and we're going to drain it on the paper towels and set that aside, and then go to our next step. Okay. Okay, the sausage is set aside. Now, if you can't find andouille sausage where you live, you can use a beef smoked sausage, you can use a pork smoked sausage. Just don't use like Yankee kind of smoked sausage, you know, like a kielbasa or what are those other ones called? Bratwurst, or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, those are good in their place, like, you know, in Wisconsin with a beer and a you know, I don't know, a basketball game or something, but not for this. All right, so now we got 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. We're going to let that heat over a low fire because we're going to make a roux. Oh, yeah, just a little roux has to be made to thicken this up. So we'll get that going and let you see how to do that. All right, I got my roux making spoon. The oil is hot, so that's 2 tablespoons of oil and 2 tablespoons of flour. Now, the key to making a roux is you got to be patient with it. And I think this burner that I'm on may be a little bit too big because I don't want to burn it. What you're doing is you're just cooking this flour, and we're going to cook it into like a medium brown, I guess. So let me go to another burner that's got less heat on it because I don't want to scorch it. That's the thing. I'm on my little tiny burner, y'all. Look at that little thing. So yeah, this may take a while because that's the key to making a gravy or a roux for, you know, Louisiana type cooking, for gumbos and things like that is that you just have to be very patient with it, and it's got to keep moving the whole time. You got to keep it moving because you don't want it to scorch. It'll mess up everything because your roux is the backbone of the dish. It's what holds everything together. Now, maybe what we can do is we can make it look like I'm doing it, and then all of a sudden, boom, magically it's done. Let's see if we can do that. Boom, magic. Told you. Now, here's the thing. When you're dealing with a roux, you just have to stay with it the whole time until you cook that flour like this, okay? That's what you do. Now, here's the part that, oh wait, don't forget, I'm not just gonna leave you hanging on all this. The recipe will be at our website, fendforyourselves.com. So go look it up there and you'll be able to get it. Now, this is the part of the process that is going to cause me to hear some griping from my wife when she gets home, because the whole house is going to smell like onions, because we got one medium onion chopped and we're going to saute it in the roux. Okay, get it going around like this, and it is going to be fragrant. And if you don't like the way onions smell, then you won't like this. So we're going to saute this for just a few minutes and get those onions soft before we do the next thing. Now that roux it's almost like hot glue right now, because that's why those onions are sizzling, because all of that oil and flour that I cooked is just boiling hot, mixing with those onions and pretty much cooking it as they stick together here. I know some recipes, like my gumbo recipe, you don't even saute the onions and stuff. You just get that roux, and when it's done, you just throw the vegetables in it and it cooks them automatically because it's so hot. And this is kind of that way. So we're only going to need to do this for a few minutes before we take the next step.
Hey, it's Ace, and if you're into games, TCGs like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, I am standing in your little piece of heaven. It's the Mighty Meeple in Concord. This is dual lands from the Unlimited set. Cards from every Magic set for the past 30 years. It's all right here. Commander decks, all of them for the past 20 years. And when it comes to the biggest game in the world, Pokemon, they've got everything from base set to the most recent games. As you can see, there's always something happening at the Meeple. If you're looking to power up your games, check them out, the Mighty Meeple, acetj.com/games.
One of the worst things that can happen to your house is a buildup of mold and mildew in your crawl space. Let the experts at Cardinal Environmental Solutions come and inspect your crawl space and treat it so your house is safe for you and your family. Go to acetj.com/cardinal today.
All right, here we go. We're ready to put it together. Go back in with that sausage. Looking delicious, all right? I mean, you could just eat this as it is. I mean, it's just fantastico. Then we're gonna take a regular sized can of diced tomatoes. You can use petite dice, but you don't, I like the bigger ones for this. Now look at that. But there's a stem from a tomato. Look at that. Gross. That's how fresh they are out of the can. Okay, and then we got 2 cups of water. I'm gonna hit 2 cups of water. Stir that up. See? Now, what is going to happen when that water starts cooking? It's going to thicken, because we got our roux in there to thicken it up. And then this is where you're gonna be mad at me, because there's no certain measurements for this. I'm gonna do a heavy pinch of salt, probably another one to start with, a little bit of black pepper, fancy. Now, not as much of this as I've been using on the show, because I've been using the regular kind. This is the bold. It's more spicy, less salty. So I'm just gonna put a little of that in there with it. So you do it to taste, whatever, which is kind of goofy sounding. Do it to taste. So in other words, do it until it gets to the way you like for it to taste. All right? So we seasoned it. Now, after it cooks for a little bit, we're going to come in and re-season. So you taste it and re-season it. That's the real mark of cooking. It's not just throw an exact amount of salt, an exact amount of pepper, and so forth. You adjust that as you go. So I'm going to turn up the fire on this, and I'm going to get it to a little bit of a boil. All right? So once we get it to a low boil, then I'll show you what to do next. All right, so we got it at a low boil. See? We brought it up to temperature, as they say. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn down the fire. Turning down the heat. Wait, was that really loud? I'm sorry if I yelled. Okay, we're going to get it at a simmer. Okay? And then we're going to cover it. Now I know I've said in past episodes of whatever this show's called, Fend for Yourselves, that I don't like to use a lid on hardly anything because the evaporation concentrates the flavors, evaporation and concentration of flavors. So I do use it on this dish. So I'm going to put that on and we're going to let it stay at a simmer for about an hour. Now, the funny part about that is that Mr. Todd, the cameraman, just found out that he's got to be here for another hour. And I didn't tell him ahead of time how long this was going to take. Okay, so we're going to leave that covered and for about an hour. But in the cooking process of that, you do need to go in, stir it, make sure it's not sticking every now and then, every few minutes, and then we'll take it from there. Now, when this is done, we're gonna put it over rice. So this will be a good time to go get some rice and cook it to the directions on the back of the package. I mean, I can't do everything for you. If you can't read the package and then do what it says, then go to the Chinese restaurant quickly and get some rice to go. I mean, what am I gonna do about that? Okay, let's check it out. I think we should be ready. Now, about 30 minutes in, I went and tasted to re-season or add this or that. It didn't need anything. The way I seasoned it in the very beginning was perfect for me. So you do that and put it however you want it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Now, give it a little bit of a stir. Oh, man, that smells so good. Mr. Todd, the cameraman, is going to be killing this today. So, I got my cup of rice in a little Tabasco bowl. Isn't that cute, y'all? How cute is that? All right, so you go in with your ladle and just spoon it over the top. Get all that sausage and all that rich sauce up in there. Now, if I was serving this as a, if you were the guest or something, I'd have some French bread to go along with it. But Mr. Todd only gets this because we're just doing it for the TV and hopefully for you to share it with other people, and a lot of people can start watching this, so I don't have to drag my butt in to do a radio show every morning. Be that as it may, let me get it set up so Todd will taste it. Okay, Mr. Todd, no, wait a minute. You know I got to set it up.
I'm hungry.
Mr. Todd with no products in his hair today. Look at it. Woo, all flat and soft. All right, first time ever,
Yep.
Mr. Todd tries Sausage Sauce Piquant. It looks hot. You're going to burn your mouth. It's hot.
It's hot, but it's really good. Why does Jody not like this?
She does not like things, that's my wife, Jody. She doesn't like a lot of tomato-based stuff.
But I don't feel like
If it's too tomatoey,
it's good.
it gives her stomach issues.
This will be good in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stomach issues, though, not good in the fall or any other time.
No, I like it. It's
Yeah,
good.
if Jody ate that, she'd be in the bathroom the rest of the day. But I'm not trying to put her business in the street. I'm just saying. All right, so there you go. Sausage Sauce Piquant. Go to fendforyourselves.com to get the recipe. And you've seen the demonstration, and I'm sure it's just blown you away with my culinary talents. And let's see. I guess that's about it. That is it, y'all. That is it. Thank you for another supportive audience, being another supportive audience for Fend for Yourselves. I love you all, but I got to go.